Hi guys, welcome to Reensplace. Today I'm doing crab rangoon. I'm going to give you the list of ingredients that you're going to need, and I am tripling the recipe to freeze. Let me grab this real quick. Okay, so for a single recipe, what you're going to need is one 8-ounce package of cream cheese, about a half a cup of crab meat. I use imitation crab meat because we make them often and it's a lot cheaper. You're going to need, you're going to need green onions, about three or four green onions, chopped thin, a half a teaspoon of sugar, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. You're also going to need to have some wrappers. You can use wonton wrappers because that's the size they're going to be. Or if you're cheap like I am, you could buy eggroll wrappers and cut them into 4 quarters. They'll be smaller than a wonton wrapper, but not by match. And I'm trying to think, this is a pound. The other one is a pound also, but this will give you like twice as many wrappers buying it this way. I'm going to get started right now, and I'm going to put cream cheese in the bowl. As for the salt and pepper, again, it says in the recipe that you're going to use a quarter teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of sugar. And I probably double that when I make it. But again, you can put extra in, but you can never take it out. So follow the recipe, taste it before you put them in your wrappers, and add more if it's not to your liking. Okay, so that's one in. These are super simple and easy. Before I found this recipe, which I tweaked to the way we like it, I found a couple other recipes that really had some strange ingredients in them, like Worcestershire sauce, and some of them had white onion in it. I've never had a crab rangoon with white onion in it. And what else did they have in them? I mean, some of them just had things that you wouldn't find. Soy sauce. I think that the simpler, the better. Okay, let's see. This is my last cream cheese. And again, it's always good to make extras, because what I do is I cook them all up. I fry them. You probably could bake them, but why mess with a good thing, right? Okay, what I do is I fry them all up, and then I keep them in Ziploc bags in my freezer. And then this way, if I was going to share them with somebody, they could just stick them on a cookie sheet, 400 degrees in the oven. I mean, it's like 5 to 10 minutes depending on how hot your oven is. In the air fryer, they come out really good in the air fryer. I do 400 degrees for like 5 to 6 minutes, and that's from frozen. Okay, so in here, again, this is my triple recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to it the salt, and again, I'm tripling mine, so I'm going to start off like that, and sugar, and green onion. Now we like green onion in ours, so I put a little more. And again, just taste it along the way. If you like more of something, put a little more in. That's what the idea is. Okay, so let me just tell you real quick. I bought this package of imitation crab meat at Walmart. It's 24-ounce package, 1.5 pounds. I normally buy by the same company, Transocean. I usually they have little packages like this. I believe they're 4 ounces and they're $1. And I usually buy them, and when I make a double recipe, I put 2 in, so a cup of crab meat that way. But what the deal is that the imitation crab meat in the little packages are $1 a piece. And where you find them is in Walmart in the meat section, all the way to one end or the other, they have their fish section, and that's where they keep their imitation crab. And this big package here is 24 ounces, and it was only it was less than $3. So I figured I have a couple other recipes I can use this in. So I'm going to use most of it today, at least half, and the rest I will use for something else. Okay. And then the main thing is that you want to cut this really small. Okay. So that's about a half a package. And where's my knife? Okay. And then you're gonna chop this up very fine. Take a little bit of time. And then the other way. I feel like you can't make this too small when you're putting this in here, because you want it to taste like it, but you don't necessarily want to have a big chunk of it when you're biting into your crab rangoon. We buy these at a local Chinese restaurant here, and they're like $3 for 6 of them. And honestly, we hardly ever go and buy Chinese food out. It's about 30 minutes away. So I figured we would try to make some of our favorites. We got the crab rangoon. I'm very happy with this recipe. I'm really happy with our, we do the Chinese chicken, which is basically like a batter dipped chicken, kind of like what they serve at our restaurant for their sweet and sour chicken. Sorry, that's the dogs. They don't know we're taping. Aggie! Aggie! Winnie! Come here. See? They want to play too. Okay, I will take a break and I will finish chopping this up, and I'll show you when it's done, when they have calmed down. Okay, so I'm going to try to finish this video up. The dogs are going crazy and I apologize, but my across the street neighbor has some company over, and apparently nobody's allowed to have company but them in their eyes. So let me get on with this real quickly. In this bowl, I just threw a couple of the crab in there, but we have the cream cheese, the salt, the sugar, the green onions. The cream cheese is softened somewhat. Mine actually probably could have been a little bit more softened to make it easier to work with. And I think I'm going to have to switch out spoons. Let me see what do I have. Let's see. I'm going to try a metal spoon. I think it might be a little easier for me. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to work a little better. And then all you're going to do is put all of your crab meat in. Imitation crab meat, but it's all good. Now again, remember to taste this before you actually start making your little wontons, or let's see. And again, this looks like a lot of stuff in here, but it's really not, especially with the amount of cream cheese that I used. Again, I'm going to write the single recipe below in the comments section. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I don't get back to you right away, I will try to. And okay, let's see the taste a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to have a little taste, see if it needs anything. Okay, because I have a lot of green onion and I have a lot of crab in here, I'm not tasting the sugar. And that's like one of the best parts of the one that we buy. So I'm going to put another teaspoon or so in here. And I'm going to add a little more salt, about a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. Let's see how that does. And like I say all the time, you know, a little bit at a time. You could always add more. You can never take it out. Okay. And get a clean spoon and give it another taste. That tastes like it. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to stop the video, clean up my work area here, and get the fryer ready. And I'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to finish this off. Okay, I'm back. This next part is the easiest part. It's just very time consuming, so especially if you're doubling or tripling your batch. All you're going to do is take your wonton wrappers, or like I said, I use the egg roll wrappers. I don't mind cutting them into fours, getting a bunch, and they're a little smaller. And all you do is, you know, you're just going to try to evenly cut them as best you can. Don't get crazy, unless that's what you like, then by all means. And then the other way. And then the other important thing is to keep them covered with either a wet towel, or I should say a damp towel, or even damp paper towels while you are, I don't know what happened there, while you are making them. So all I have is a small kitchen towel, and I wet it and I wring it out pretty well. And then I just keep that on the side of my board. And I'm going to take a few out at a time. I also have here a little dish of just plain water, and that's going to help me seal it. And then normally I just use a teaspoon to put it in here, but I have this small thing, and I don't know if that's going to be too much filling or not, but I figured if it did work, it would be a lot easier and maybe faster for me. So I'm going to give it a whirl. Into the middle. Okay, I don't know about faster, but let's see if this works. I'm going to do one and see if it does work. I feel like this could really speed up the process. Let me just make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I only, I just wet 2 corners of it, and I turned it into a triangle. Now, again, it's a learning curve. You just want to get all the air out of this away from the filling, and that's just so it doesn't explode when you fry them. But you know what? That little scooper really did work nicely, actually. And then push them together best you can. And I just like to put them on a cookie sheet here until I have them all done. I'm going to get a pan full, and the fryer's going to get hot, and then we'll fry them. Let me show you a couple more. And again, a teaspoon works just as well. The filling in the middle. And once you get going, you kind of get a rhythm, so it's not quite as bad. Wet 2 edges. I like to push it down a little bit. I think it's just easier to close them. Pick it up. Give them a little squeeze like you're pinching them. And again, try to get the air out around it. I just squeeze like against the filling and like that. Can you see that? Okay. Like this. Again, I'm going to give it a little squish. Okay, now again, as you can see, this is to me, this is the worst part of making them. It's just that it's so time consuming. So I'm going to finish these up. When I have a sheet full, I'm going to come back and we'll throw them in the fryer. I have a fryer. If you don't have a fryer, like a Dutch oven with, 2 or 3 inches of oil would be perfect. All right, I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I apologize in advance for any noise that the dogs make. I just gave them some tennis balls, but they're like spoiled children and they're in cranky mode today. So let me just finish this up. While you were gone, I made a tray full of the crab rangoon. I also put a pan here that has a rack on top of it for draining and another pan that has paper towels. My fryer has come to temperature. And the best thing I could say is don't crowd them in the pan and just keep an eye on them. So I'm going to take a couple at a time and I'm just going to drop them in lightly. And again, if you don't have a fryer, you totally could do this with 2 or 3 inches of vegetable oil in a like a Dutch oven or a large pot on the stove. Okay, so what do I have? I have 5 in there. I'm going to do 6. I'm just going to close them up. Unless you want to see real quick. See, they're just frying away. And then I like to give them a turn. So these are simple. They just are time consuming if you're making a lot of them because of the stuffing them part. But the rest of it is, it's super simple. I mean, the ingredient list is how many, oops, I really do apologize. Okay, so the ingredient list is how many things. It's cream cheese, green onions, salt, sugar, crab meat. That's 5 ingredients plus the wrapper would be 6. That's it. And if you did like a single batch of it, it probably wouldn't take you too much time at all. And I believe, if I remember correctly, a single batch gives you around 2 dozen. And again, these were the egg roll wrappers that I used, that I cut them into quarters. And I mean, look at my hand. That's a decent size. And I've got, I think that makes about 100. I think that's going to give me about 100 wrappers, cutting them in 4s. So that beats buying them at $2.28 for, I think there's like 40 in the package. Okay, so these are pretty much it. I'm taking these out now. I mean, super simple, super tasty, a lot cheaper than buying them takeout. These are over $3 for 6 of them at our Chinese takeout. And again, we live like half an hour away, and we probably eat Chinese food like twice a year. But these, I make a bunch at one time. I freeze them in freezer Ziploc bags. Again, I put, what is that stuff called? Wax paper. I put wax paper inside. I put them in. And then when you want them, you just grab a couple out. Put them on a cookie sheet. Put them in the oven, 400 degrees. Maybe 4 to 5. Probably in the oven, they're probably going to be about 8 minutes from frozen. In the air fryer, you can put them in there, 400 degrees, takes about 5 minutes. And I usually like to stop the air fryer halfway through and flip them. Let me give you a close-up of one. Okay, I hope you guys try the recipe. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And I hope that you hit the subscribe button below and look out for future recipes. If you have anything that you would like to see me make or try, I would love to try some new recipes. So check back soon. I have coming up on the agenda is going to be some beef empanadas. And again, I make a big bunch of them, and I like to freeze them. And please, again, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below. Talk to you all soon. Bye.